Hi there, this is Helen Tarrant again from LA. Here with our whole team. Wow, it's massive. Welcome to another episode of Commercial Property Roadshow. You're here with Helen Tarrant, and today I'm actually going to cover off for you the short game and the long game in commercial property. Which one are you? So the reason I talk about the short game and the long game is because people don't actually talk about it in this market. People talk about, okay, we want to hold commercial property, we want to own commercial property, but no one actually thinks about, do I want to hold commercial property in the long term, or do I want to do a short flip? And so this video is actually about showing you that there is the option, and to really think about where you stand in the trajectory of you having commercial property in your portfolio. What is a short play in the commercial property space? A short play in the commercial property space is someone who is buying an undervalued property, a property that can do a uplift in the immediate 6 to 24 months period, especially in this market. So if you've got downward pressure on rent, if you've got vacancies, it may take you more than 12 months to tenant that property. And because we've got a lot of people out there trying to do trades and improvements on their property, you might be slower to get the trades. For all of those reasons, your time that need to stretch out just an extra 24 to 24 months rather than 12 months just in case. Now, that is a short play. Anything within 2 years is a short play. That allows you to get in the market, that allows you to buy undervalued asset, that allows you to tidy up the leases, that allows you to do any capital works on the property, and then look to extract value out of that property. So either through a sale, a refinance, or in terms of then getting the property to the next level. So let's say you do the preliminary, you do the first lot of refinance, and then maybe, it's an additional build on top of that for you to go the next level. But a short play is 2 years in the commercial property space. And if you are young and you have a limited amount of deposit, this is the strategy you want to utilize, and you want to continuously utilize that for the next 5 to 7 years to build yourself up with a whole chunk of deposit to get started. So that's what you'll be looking for if you are doing the short play. Now, what is the long play in the commercial property space? Well, the long play is actually holding a property that is for, let's say, development potential, or let's say that you're holding the property because you have additional use for the property. So you could be buying the property because you want to be an owner-occupier in 3 or 5 years' time. Or you could be buying the property because you want to demolish the property, or you want to build residential to the property, or that it is a 10-year plan because you're land banking. Now, commercial property works a little bit different from residential. If you are land banking, think of land banking with income rather than pure flat land banking where you're negative. So I'll do a video about that in comparison in my coming up videos, but it's important to look at this and say, hey, if my trajectory is 10 years, and that's really suited for someone who is busy right now, but really want a property that has potential in the future, that's not realized at the moment. So that means that you have a current tenant in the property, whether they're under rented and that you're not likely to get a rental increase, say, for 5 years because they're on a solid lease, or that you've got a property that is tracking quite well but have some works or have some flaws in the property that will need major capital works or structural works in the future, and you just don't have the resources or the money to spend on it right now, but you will in the next 5 or 10 years time. And or you have a property that is got development potential or some vacant land at the back, but the thing is you can't get access to that right now because you simply don't have the money, or that the zoning isn't right, you're waiting for a rezoning, or possibly that you are actually haven't maximized the value in terms of maybe you need to change the tenant mix, maybe that you need a hospital near you to be approved, or a bypass to be built, or a school to come in, or a university to come in to change the feel of the property or the area so that you can put better quality tenants in there, and or you might need to do an extension at the back. So it is a bit of the long game. So the long game is actually a 5 to 10 year plan. So nothing now, nothing to spend on the property, even though the property may be run down, the property may not be beautiful, it might be an ugly duckling, or that the property may be an absolute dump, but it's got a tenant in there who is happy and functional in there, and they're paying, as long as they're paying below market rent, they're happy, and you're not buying it, you know, at market yields. You're probably buying, you know, below market yields, which means that, you know, if people are buying at, say, for example, at 6%, you might be buying the property at 5%, knowing that in the future, you know, you're actually going to rent, you know, increase the rent and things like that. So in 5 years, you want to do something to that property. Or in 10 years, you want to knock it down and rebuild that property. That's where the property is the long game. And for now, the next 24 months, you plan to spend as little as possible on the property, probably reap out all of the cash flow from that property deal so that you can actually build yourself a deposit for the next deal. So you're treating this as a deposit generator. Along with your savings, you can get into the next deal within the next 2 years, and you're not actually spending any money on the actual property purchase. So that is the long game, because what you want to do is maybe put another 2 to 3 properties under your belt over the next 10 years. And then once you've got that done, you can come back to this property having sufficient cash flow in your property portfolio and having sufficient income and experience in doing your property deals, and then come back and tackle this property, whether it's a development, it's an extension, it's kicking the tenants out, doing a total refurbishment, and then reaping the total value of that. That is the long term. So you have to be prepared to hold, and you have to be prepared to gather enough capital to do capital works in the future on this property so that you can realize the ultimate gain on it. So that's the long game versus the short game. Short game, 2 years, in and out, get all the equity out of that property you can to redo it again for the next deal, and roll on and so forth, and repeat, rinse and repeat for the next 5 to 7 years, so you can accumulate a huge amount of deposit and you go bigger each time. Or you take your gains, you split into 2, and you start snowballing. And that is really suitable for someone who is young, have the time, can do it now, have some capital set aside apart from the purchase price to do it. Or if you are in the long game is that you've got 10 years stretch. So you might be in your mid-30s. You might be so busy with your career right now, but you want to get into commercial. You want to get a property that has that may be run down, an ugly duckling, that you've got nothing you need to do to that property. It gives you some cash flow for the next 2 years. And during that time, it becomes a cash flow deposit saver for you, along with your income, to get you into the next deal. In the next 10 years, get into another 2 to 3 deals, and together bulk up your capital so that then you can throw everything you have to this first deal, realize its full potential, flip it, sell it, develop it, reap the rewards of it, and that's the long game. So whatever you're looking for, Helen Tarrant can help you with that. My company has education. It can help you with sourcing and finding your property, but we're specialized in building out a portfolio for you. So we're not transactional. We're actually really looking forward to helping you, understanding where you need to get to, and build out a strategy. So we've got education, we've got group deals, we've got buyer's agency, and we can help you with construction as well. So much out there for commercial property, but you know, it's easy to get lost. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, and we can mentor you through the process. So reach out to me, helentarrant.com, or unicorn with a k.com.au, or simply email me at helen@commercialpropertycashflow.com.au. Until next time, I look forward to helping you with your commercial property journey. Keep searching, and bye for now.